Lily, can I ask you something?
Always.
Do you ever feel like you were good at your job? You know your work. But the moment someone asks you to talk about it in English, everything just disappears.
Oh, yes. 100%.
Like your brain has the information, but your mouth suddenly has nothing.
The worst version of this for me, someone asks, "So, what do you do?" And I say, "I work in a company with things."
With things, that is deeply relatable.
Right. I have a whole career. I have experience. I have opinions about my industry. And in English, I say, "I work with things."
And this is the gap. Not a vocabulary gap, not a grammar gap.
A confidence gap.
Yes. And today, on Easily Speak English, we are closing that gap completely. Welcome, everyone. I am Jake.
And I am Lily. And today we are talking about your career. Not just, I am a teacher, I am an engineer, but the real English, the natural English, the English that makes people lean in when you speak.
And we post new episodes every single day on this channel. So if today helps you, come back tomorrow. There is always something new waiting for you.
Let's begin. And let's begin where most career conversations actually begin. Not with your job title, with a feeling.
Because, Lily, nobody really loves being asked, what do you do, right?
Nobody. It is such a loaded question.
Loaded, meaning it carries a lot of pressure, a lot of weight, more than just the words.
Because underneath, what do you do sometimes feels like, who are you? What are you worth? Are you impressive enough?
And that pressure, it makes us reach for the safest, most boring answer. I am a manager. I work in finance. I am an accountant.
All correct. All forgettable.
Forgettable, meaning people hear it and immediately forget it. It does not stay. It does not create a conversation.
And what we want, what this episode gives you, is the English to make people remember what you said and want to ask more.
So, let's start with how you describe what you actually do, the impressive way.
Most people say, "I am a project manager," and then stop. Stop. Right there. The biggest mistake. Because a job title tells people nothing about you. It is just a label.
I am a project manager could be someone who loves their work with every cell in their body, or someone who is counting the days until retirement.
The title does not show the person.
So what do we add?
We add what we actually do. Not the title, the reality.
For example, instead of I am a project manager, try I oversee large projects from start to finish. I am basically the person who makes sure everything stays on track and nothing falls through the cracks.
Oh, oversee. That means to supervise, to be responsible for watching that something happens correctly.
And falls through the cracks, meaning gets forgotten, gets missed, slips between people, and never gets done.
Things fall through the cracks when nobody owns them. Nobody takes responsibility.
And in a project, that can be catastrophic. So the project manager, that is the crack filler.
The crack filler. Not the official title, but maybe the most honest one.
Listeners, think about your own job right now. Not your title. What do you actually do? What problem do you solve? What would fall through the cracks if you were not there?
That answer? That is your impressive English career description. And we want to hear it. Write it in the comments. Even a rough version. Even half-formed. Write it. That is today's first practice.
Now, once you describe what you do, the next thing people ask is, how long have you been doing this?
And this is where most learners say, for 5 years, or since 2018. And then, again, stop.
And it is fine, but it is flat. It is information without texture.
Texture, meaning depth, dimension. Something that makes it feel real and lived in, rather than just a fact on a paper.
Like the difference between I have been teaching for 6 years and I have been teaching for 6 years and I still find something new every single class that surprises me.
Oh, the second one. I want to know that person.
Right? Because they did not just give a number, they gave a feeling about the number.
And that feeling, I still find something new every single class that surprises me. That is called intellectual curiosity. And it is one of the most impressive things you can show in any career conversation. Intellectual curiosity, meaning your mind stays interested. You keep asking questions. You never stop learning, even when you become experienced. The opposite of intellectual curiosity is, I have been doing this for 20 years, and I already know everything.
Nobody wants to talk to that person at a dinner party.
Nobody. So when someone asks how long, give the number and then give a feeling about the number. I have been in marketing for 4 years, and honestly, I am still finding my footing in some areas. But that is what keeps it interesting. Finding my footing, meaning still getting comfortable, still learning how to move confidently in this space. It is humble, it is honest, and it is deeply attractive in any professional conversation. Because humility and ambition together, that combination is magnetic. Magnetic, meaning it pulls people in. They are drawn to it. They want to hear more.
Lily, can we talk about something that I think is almost never discussed in English learning for careers?
Please.
Talking about difficult parts of your work. Not just the good things, the real things.
Oh, this is important. Because so many learners think in English, I should always sound positive and professional and impressive.
And yes, in some contexts, but in a real conversation with a colleague, with someone at a networking event, with a new connection, honesty about the hard parts is what creates genuine connection.
Because everyone has hard parts. And when you name them, the other person thinks, oh, this is a real person, not a LinkedIn profile, a real human being.
Ha! Not a LinkedIn profile. That is very specific, but very true.
So, how do you talk about the hard parts of your work in English without sounding like you are complaining?
That is the key. Not complaining. Reflecting.
Reflecting, meaning looking back at something thoughtfully, with awareness, with a sense of what you learned from it. For example, instead of, my job is so stressful, I am always overwhelmed. Try this.
The most challenging part of my role is managing competing priorities. There are days when everything feels urgent at the same time, and I have to decide what truly matters.
Competing priorities. Multiple important tasks that all want your attention at the same time. They compete with each other for your focus.
And managing competing priorities. That is a skill. It sounds hard because it is hard, but it also sounds like something you are actively working through, not just suffering through.
There is a difference. Suffering through means I have no control. I am just enduring.
Working through means I am engaged with this problem. I am finding my way.
And the second version, I am working through this, that is the version that sounds like a professional, someone growing, someone honest and self-aware.
Self-aware, meaning you understand yourself. You know your strengths, you know where you still have work to do, and you can speak about both with comfort.
Self-awareness in career conversations, it is not a weakness. It is one of the most sophisticated things you can demonstrate.
Demonstrate, not just say. Show through the way you speak.
Okay, I want to do something practical now.
Go ahead.
I am going to say something the way most learners would say it. And then together, we are going to upgrade it. Not make it fake, just make it fuller, more real.
I love this. Ready.
Version 1, I work in sales. I have been doing it for 3 years. It can be stressful, but I like it.
Okay. Fine. Safe. Completely forgettable.
Completely forgettable. Version 2.
I work in sales, which people either love or are slightly afraid of as a word. But honestly, what I do is help people solve problems. I have been doing it for about 3 years now, and the part I find genuinely rewarding is when a client comes in convinced they know what they need, and through the conversation, we discover it is something slightly different. Better.
Oh, that is a completely different person speaking.
Same job, same 3 years, same honest reality. But version 2 has rewarding, meaning it gives you a sense of achievement and meaning, not just money, real satisfaction. And genuinely rewarding. The word genuinely matters. It says, I am not performing positivity. I actually mean this. And the example? A client comes in convinced they know what they need. That is a specific, real moment from work, not a general statement, a scene. Scenes are what make career conversations memorable. Not job titles, not years of experience. Scenes.
Scenes meaning specific moments, real situations you can almost picture. Listeners, I want you to think of one scene from your work, one specific moment, something that happened, something that showed what your job actually is. Hold it in your mind. And write it in the comments, in English, even one sentence, even rough, a specific, real moment from your work. That is today's second practice, and it is the most important one.
Jake, there is one more thing I want to cover before the word tour.
Go ahead.
Talking about where you want to go, your career future, your ambitions.
Oh, yes. Because what are your career goals is one of the most common questions in job interviews, in networking, in casual conversations.
And most learners say, I want to grow, I want to be successful, I want a better position someday.
Which is, again, true, and again, completely without texture.
So let's add texture. Instead of, I want to grow in my career, try, what really drives me right now is developing deeper expertise in this area. I do not want to be a generalist. I want to be genuinely excellent at one thing.
Drives me, meaning motivates me, pushes me forward, what I wake up thinking about.
Expertise, deep knowledge and skill in a specific area. Not just experience, real mastery.
Generalist. Someone who knows a little about many things.
The opposite is a specialist, someone who knows a lot about one thing.
And the sentence, I do not want to be a generalist. I want to be genuinely excellent at one thing. That is a bold statement. It has a point of view. It shows a direction.
And people who have a direction are interesting. People who just want to grow, that direction is invisible.
Another version. I am at a point in my career where I am starting to think about leadership. Not managing people for the sake of a title, but creating an environment where people do their best work.
Oh, that is sophisticated. Managing people for the sake of a title, meaning just wanting the status, the seniority.
And contrasting it with creating an environment where people do their best work, that is actual leadership thinking, not just ambition, vision.
Vision. The ability to see what something could become, not just what it is now.
And when you speak about your career with vision, people see you differently. They do not just see where you are, they see where you are going.
Lily, before the word tour, quick, honest question. Is any of this actually easy to do in a real conversation? Under pressure?
No, not at first.
Good, I am glad you said that.
Because we are not promising you that you will leave this episode and walk into a networking event and be perfect.
That is not how language works.
What we are promising is, after today, You will have words for the feelings and the realities you could not express before. And words are the beginning of confidence, not the end.
Words first, then comfort, then fluency.
Always in that order. And every day you come back to easily speak English, we give you more words, more comfort, one conversation at a time.
Okay, word tour time.
Yes, and today, as always, we take fewer words and go deeper. Really understand how each one works in real life.
Today's words: oversee, falls through the cracks, intellectual curiosity, finding my footing, competing priorities, self-aware, rewarding, drives me, expertise, vision.
Let's begin.
Oversee. Say it with us slowly. Oversee.
Oversee.
To oversee means to supervise, to watch over something, to make sure it happens correctly. I oversee a team of 12 people. She oversees the entire production process.
The difference between oversee and manage is more hands-on. Oversee means you are responsible, but you are looking from above, making sure everything is running.
A natural sentence?
I oversee client relationships across 3 markets. Or, he oversees the training of all new staff. Try this one. I am responsible for overseeing our quarterly reporting cycle.
That sentence alone sounds like someone who knows what they are talking about.
Next, falls through the cracks. Say it slowly. Falls through the cracks.
Falls through the cracks.
This means something gets missed, gets forgotten, slips between people, and never gets done.
When a team is too busy, important tasks fall through the cracks.
Or, I make sure nothing falls through the cracks during a project handover.
Project handover. When responsibility for a project moves from one person or team to another. A moment when things often fall through the cracks.
Natural use? My job is essentially to make sure nothing falls through the cracks.
That sentence explains a whole role in one line.
Next, intellectual curiosity. Say it slowly. Intellectual curiosity.
Intellectual curiosity.
The desire to keep learning, to keep asking questions, to be interested in ideas even when you are already experienced.
She brings real intellectual curiosity to every project, meaning she always asks why, always looks deeper.
I was drawn to this field because of my intellectual curiosity about how systems work.
You can also say, what keeps me motivated is intellectual curiosity. I genuinely love learning new things about this industry.
That sentence in a job interview is worth more than most qualifications.
Next, finding my footing. Say it. Finding my footing.
Finding my footing. This means getting comfortable, getting confident in a new role or situation, learning how things work.
I am still finding my footing in this new position.
Or, after 6 months, I feel like I am finally finding my footing.
It is humble, but it is active. You are finding, not lost. You are moving.
Next, competing priorities. Competing priorities. Competing priorities. Multiple important tasks all demanding your attention at the same time. I have been working on managing competing priorities. Some weeks, everything feels equally urgent.
In a performance review, I have improved significantly in managing competing priorities under pressure. That sentence alone shows maturity. Next, self-aware. 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 Understanding yourself, your strengths, your weaknesses, your impact on others. I try to be self-aware about how I come across in team meetings. Or, one thing I pride myself on is being self-aware enough to know when I need help.
Pride myself on. Meaning, this is something I feel genuinely good about, a quality I work to maintain. Next, rewarding. 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 Giving a sense of achievement, making you feel the effort was worth it, not just financially. I find teaching incredibly rewarding,
especially that moment when something clicks for a student. The most rewarding part of my job is seeing a project go from an idea to something real. If something is rewarding, it means it gives you something back: energy, meaning, satisfaction. Next, drives me, drives me, drives me, motivates me, pushes me forward, what I care about enough to keep going. What drives me most is the challenge of solving problems no one has solved before. Or, what drives me is knowing that my work makes a difference to someone. Drives me is more powerful than motivates me. It suggests something internal, something deep, not just a reason, a force.
Last two: expertise and vision. Expertise. Expertise. Deep knowledge and skill in a specific area, not just familiarity, real mastery developed over time. I have developed significant expertise in digital marketing over the past 5 years. Or, she is the person we go to for expertise on regulatory compliance. And vision. 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 The ability to see what something could become, a clear sense of direction and possibility. What I appreciate about this company is the vision behind it, not just what it is today. Or, I am someone who leads with vision. I like to see where we are going before we start moving. Leads with vision, meaning vision is your primary quality as a leader. You see the destination first. Today's words: oversee, falls through the cracks, intellectual curiosity, finding my footing, competing priorities, self-aware, rewarding, drives me, expertise, vision. Now for practice. Write one sentence in the comments using any one of today's words. It can be about your real job, or an imaginary one, or just the word in a sentence. Any sentence. Because the moment you write a word in your own sentence, it becomes yours. You own it, and you will remember it. That is how vocabulary truly becomes part of you. Not memorizing, using.
Lily, last question before we say goodbye today.
Go on.
What is the one thing you wish you could tell every English learner who feels nervous about talking about their career?
Just one thing?
Just one.
Okay. I would say your career is already interesting. You do not need better English to have an interesting career. You just need better English to show people the interesting career you already have.
Oh, I really love that.
Because the content is already there. The story is already there. The experience is already there.
We are just giving you the words to let it out.
Exactly. And those words, the ones from today, they are yours now.
Use them today, even in a small way.
In a conversation, in a comment, in your own head on the way to work.
Thank you for spending this time with us today on Easily Speak English.
We post a new episode every single day, so come back tomorrow. There is always something waiting for you.
Please give this video a like if it helped you see your career in a new way.
Share it with someone who works hard but struggles to talk about their work in English.
And write in the comments one word from today that you will use this week.
We read every single one, every day, without fail.
Take care of yourselves.
And take care of your English.
See you tomorrow.
Bye, everyone.